Okay, listen. I generally go by the cards that I'm, excuse me, Miss Hurley, by the cards that I've received, and I have 11 cards. Now, council members are questioning whether or not these people are here. All right. Karen Spencer McGee, are you here, Miss McGee?
Now, you guys know you enforce this.
Excuse me, Miss Hurley. Excuse me, Miss Hurley. I've been asked the question, and I'm going to find out for the council members. Marcus Tucker, are you here? Marie Santuni, all right. Thank you. Mike Lee, Mike's gone. Larry C. Davis, Larry's here. Jim Stroud, here. Rhonda Davis, here. Donna Kirk, here. Carol Carlton, yes, thank you. And Sharon Clark here. All right. Now, I have never done this before. I did it now because I was questioned by council members. There are 1, 2, 3 people who've signed cards for her time who are not here. What's the pleasure of the council? Does anybody have the pleasure of the council? I'm going to make a ruling. What, Mr. Brown, you have the floor.
Only 3 out of the 11.
That's correct.
So give the other members who signed it, give her the opportunity to use their 2 minutes. Give her the opportunity to use their time.
The 3 that aren't here.
Well, the 3 is gone.
No, well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking for direction. I'm asking for direction from the council. You're saying do not give her the time for the 3 are not here.
The 3 that is not here.
All right. Can we take an informal vote on this?
Got to take a vote on it.
All right. Without objection, the 3 cards who are not here will not be given time to Miss Hurley, unless there's an objection. All right. Let's move forward. Miss Hurley, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2, 16 minutes.
Cut my mic off, sir.
Are we starting now?
Yes, ma'am. We are starting now at 16.
Okay. Kathy Hurley, 7488 Wintergreen Lane, Cordova, Tennessee. I do have a Facebook group called Just the Facts. I would like to not be interrupted today or questioned until the end of what I have to say. I'm going to start out by reading the City Council resolution that was passed for people who are disabled. Whereas the City of Memphis is committed to reforming health care in such a way that provides both fiscal responsibility and minimizes the hardship on plan participants, and whereas there are approximately 1,200 pre-65 who would move to access coverage only, some of whom have medical coverage offered through current employer or spouse's employers, and whereas through recent collaboration with City Council and City Administration and citizens, additional health care funds have been identified to restore medical premium subsidies to some pre-65 retirees set forth below. Provide a coverage subsidy for all pre-65 and their spouses if they elect family coverage and are surviving spouses with no access to coverage offered through a current employer or a spouse's employer as of today's date for the calendar year 2015. After 2015, those two pre-65 retirees who are unable to work as a result of a disability or illness and who have applied for or been awarded disability status by the United States Social Security Administration should continue to receive a subsidy for the cost of their health care insurance and until Medicare is awarded or until they receive, I'm sorry, I lost my place, is awarded or until December of 2016, whichever comes first. If any remaining surplus is available in the OPEB fund, it shall be used to fully fund the OPEB annual required contribution. This was passed by every member on the board. I believe Harold Collins abstained. I have here a list of 6 different doctors who are credible physicians who have clearly stated that my husband has pancreatic cancer, stage 4. He is permanently disabled. I have here a letter from Flinn, who sponsored this resolution along with Jim Strickland. It says, Ms. Hurley, you sent me an email requesting me to clarify the legislative intent behind the health care adjustment resolution from last August, possibly September. My apologies. I am doing this from recollection and urge you to examine the video archives for any statement I might have made at the time of the debate. As per our conversation, while I am relying on fuzzy recollection for the detail regarding this resolution, on the question of intent, and specifically now, as it applies to your husband, Russell's case, I am working with extreme clarity. As you and Russell might recall, immediately after the vote, I had the opportunity to talk to Russell personally in the chambers. I remember this conversation well, and I told him that he should be covered, and I believe so now. The short answer is that the intent of this amendment was for him to be covered specifically because he is disabled, and for employees was to have a verifying process, i.e. to ensure their disability. And once that verification took place, the disabled retiree was to be grandfathered into the health care program. After discussing it with the administration, it was agreed that this was such a small universe of employees that the threshold, therefore, that it would therefore be economically feasible to cover them. The Social Security process was brought out as an example, as a type of verification process. It was not, to my recollection, to be necessary to the process. That being said, it was deemed by the administration to use the process that should be evaluated in the existing of the disability through the Social Security. It is my understanding that Russell is being denied because of a technical requirement of Social Security quarterly payments, not because he is deemed not to actually have pancreatic cancer. This is wholly inconsistent with the intent of the resolution that I helped author and that the council passed last year. Now, I spoke to Mr. Strickland after the debate last week, and he also confirmed that Russell should be covered. And there was $2 million passed that night just to explain health care to people that are affected. And that never, anything was done with that, so I don't know where that $2 million went. But, you know, instead of you guys asking if we have the money for those who are affected under this resolution, you guys should be asking, show me the money, find me the money. I mean, all of you are saying that you're listening, your stance is that you're listening to the citizens. But this is a resolution that you passed. My husband clearly falls under this Disability Act. And yet, No one has stepped to the front and handled it. This 60-40 deal that's going on where y'all are trying to negotiate all the others back into the health care that are pre-65, that's wonderful. I hope they get it. That has nothing to do with us. We should already be covered. I'm only asking you to stand up to our mayor for once and get him to do the right thing by Russell and all of the others in this group. The mayor and the administration have known since last summer, when I began my Facebook campaign, that Russell did not have those 5 quarters. So it's kind of surprising that that would be their choice of how we're going to qualify or not. Kind of surprising. I'd like to know how many others are being denied for this reason, since you guys don't pay Social Security, and the quarters that we brought didn't come from you, it came from a previous job. Forensic audit. You know, everybody said at the last debate that, well, yeah, let's have one. But none of you have asked for one. But yet I saw the meeting this morning and every one of you were questioning the money. Oh, they don't have that number. It's amazing that the administration, yes, the administration shows up and they don't have the numbers that might help us, but they have all the numbers that might hurt us. That's amazing, isn't it? Moving on. I sent a letter to Quentin Robinson to try and get something out of him in writing. I don't think that's asking too much. Quentin has asked me to get in touch with you. I sent it to Nyla because he told me to get in touch with her. Quentin has asked me to get in touch with you. I need to know if you're going to honor the resolution for the disabled with the 70% subsidy for Russell. It is my understanding that this will cover him until he reaches 65 in April, and then we will go on the city gap option, and we will be entitled to the 70% subsidy on the single plan for me because I don't have access to insurance. I have discussed the disability resolution with Jim Strickland and Shay Flinn, who sponsored the resolution, and both say the intent of the resolution was written with Russell's case in mind. His case in mind, so that other people in that situation that are at the end of the trail and just need a little bit of help to get over the line would keep their insurance. Since they're disabled, they have cancer or whatever their situation is. Moving to the letter. I will be happy to provide recent letters from our oncologists stating that Russell is still on chemo, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and fully disabled. Please send me a written response to verify we will be covered as soon as possible. If not, I would like to know so we can move forward with our legal rights. Russell is terminal. We don't have time to waste. This is the response I got from Mr. Robinson. Ms. Hurley, I have provided a response to your question. I don't think that's a written response at all. Very flippant. I wrote him back. Quentin, I am politely asking you for a written response. As you know, verbal responses are not admissible and are hearsay. As much as you may dislike me and my fight against the current administration, you should still have the integrity to do the right thing. Please send me a written rejection specific to you not honoring this resolution of coverage in Russell's case so we can have the right to exercise any further options or our legal rights as Americans. I am aware that you feel there are other options, but my request is specific to this disability resolution for Russell. You might want to discuss this with your superiors, as you are going to be cutting off your nose to spite your face. I am being advised that I have a very strong case, and I do think the public is not going to take kindly to the mayor's position on this issue. As previously stated, time is of essence of Russell's health condition. I will be requesting an updated letter from our oncologist to be added to the file later. Okay. Now, here's my deal. One second. Again, the mayor knew last summer that we didn't have the quarters. That doesn't change. Social Security is about getting more income. It's not about whether you're disabled or not. Has nothing to do with that. Y'all passed this amendment so that the people who are genuinely disabled would have that 1 year to get them over the hurdle. It was not about whether they qualified for Social Security benefits or not. On top of that, I would like to ask all the citizens of Memphis who are listening to me right now to help. Please email our mayor. His email address is mayor@memphistn.gov. Nobody else is listening. I need the help of the public now, because that's the only thing I know. You guys just don't seem to be able to get it taken care of. And the fact that I am on Facebook trying to replace people and I'm backing Mike Williams and all of that, that should have nothing to do with the fact that we should be covered. We should be covered. Yes, I'm speaking to you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I've come up here and cried and begged and pleaded for a damn year for nothing. You guys went out and you passed something that's supposed to help in this situation. If you can't get this taken care of, how can you be a mayor of a city? How do you deserve to be sitting on a city council? It should be simple, cut and dry. He qualifies. Give him his insurance. Please, everybody, mayor, email our mayor, our esteemed mayor. Please email him and say, just in the subject line, give Russell his insurance. Give Russell his insurance. That's all I'm asking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hurley. Mr. Strickland, you have the floor.
Ms. Hurley and I did talk right after the debate the other night, and I think there was a miscommunication. I thought she was going to ask Councilman Crone to put this on for discussion in today's personnel meeting, and apparently there was a miscommunication. So I've asked that it be put on for the next council meeting in personnel, because my memory of that resolution is what she is saying, and I don't know what the status is, because I think there are a few others in addition to Mr. Hurley that fit the same situation. So that's the best. I mean, I thought that was the best way to handle it. Put it in committee, and then
There was a lot of background noise, and it was so fast, and we just didn't. I didn't get it.
And I appreciate you saying I did the best job in the debate.
Oh, did I say that?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding you. Thank you.
Actually, it was a very interesting debate for all. And I do think I shook your hand and told you it was good.
Thank you, Ms. Hurley. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Chairman Lowry. Thank you very much. It's one thing that was said that basically Ms. Hurley is absolutely correct. Mr. Hurley has met all of the guidelines to be insured. The thing is, we do have the power here because we control the revenue. And at the same time and I see Mr. Robinson and Mr. Collins out there, and this is to the mayor. I know he's listening. Give Mr. Hurley, Mr. Robinson, Mayor, TAO Simons, Director Robinson, Director Collins, give this gentleman his insurance. He has met the criteria. We're up here pussies with him. And I'm going to tell you, that's what we're doing. We have let these guys take advantage of us, this administration. It's not right when we pass something that it's not executed on. But we control the power. The power is controlled by the council. The thing is that we demand that the administration give Mr. Hurley his insurance. He has met all of the guidelines. We got his wife here begging like if she's under some said bondage, where there's some ruler has the oversight on the life of this man who does have cancer. This thing is going to have to stop. This thing is going to have to stop. We're either going to step up to the plate or we need to step away from the plate. But we've been doing it too long. I haven't had a lot to say, but I'm saying is that we got to step up to the plate. We got to make sure that this man is insured what we passed. Everybody comes with the facts. And at the same time, as it gets debated by the administration, no more debate. It's time to come to the table, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Collins, Mayor, Jack Salmons, everybody in the administration. Just playing games on people's lives. This is not what it's going to be about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Fullilove.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, I've seen Ms. Hurley's emails and other emails that have some of the pre-65ers, and they've had questions that certainly I couldn't answer, and I would direct them to Director Robinson, and he in turn would give his answer. But it has taken me almost 8 years to realize that we as a legislative body, we have power. I didn't realize that until just now. I mean, Ms. Hurley should not, Mr. Chairman, and you know it, have to beg us or beg the mayor to do what is owed to her husband, and that's to cover him with insurance. I've been ill. I have neuropathy, and all of my colleagues know that. And if it were not for my insurance, I don't know what I'd do. I hurt all the time. I have to walk little slow walks and sit down quite often, and my hands swell. And I think about her husband, whom I met, and it just kind of brings tears to my eyes because, he's trying to be strong, and Ms. Hurley is trying to be strong for her husband. But we as a body, we have to tell the 7th floor to do what they need to do. And I'm going to have to sound like Mr. Brown now. Maybe we need to take the 7th floor to court because this is absolutely ridiculous. This man has stage 4 cancer. He needs to be taken care of. He doesn't need to worry about whether he can get his medication or his doctor can see him or if he's hospitalized, what's going to happen to him. And I implore you, Joe Brown, Harold Collins, Bill Boyd, Wonder Halbert, Jim Strickland, Myron Lowry, Dr. Ed Ford Jr., Alan Crone, and Berlin Boyd. Let's do what we know we would want people to do if it were your parent or if it was you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fullilove. All right, Steve Simmons, followed by Reverend Rebecca Gannett, followed by Lee Cochran.